Welcome everyone to our group presentation. This is Group E presentation for supporting collaborative work with technology. Our group members is Taylan, actually me, Ahmed and Lola. For introduction, we have a multinational aerospace company which name is Company X, and their objective is reduce the company's carbon footprint, and their action plan to reduce their carbon footprint, set up a project team to review the existing technologies. But what is a carbon footprint? Here's the definition from carbon footprint website. Basically, it's a negative effect which made from humankind to the nature by using fossil fuels. And if you look at UK values, in UK 34% of an individual carbon footprint is related to indirect or direct air transportations. It's also the biggest portion in an individual carbon footprint pie chart. But what are the ideal standards for the aerospace industry? How we can have a more environmental friendly aerospace? We have a prototype. This is the most environmental friendly aircraft. But if you look at here, there's a protocol which name is Kyoto. The Kyoto Protocol is created by the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Control. And regarding this Kyoto Protocol, international aerospace or agencies define two main aims. These are increase the fuel efficiency by 1.5% per annum between now and 2020, and by the 2050, their second aim is net aviation carbon emissions will be half of the 2005 values. For the next part, my friend Lola will help you.
Okay, so in line with the pressure from government agencies, international agencies, and also trying to reduce negative impacts on the environment and keep in line with the Kyoto Protocol as we saw in the previous slide, the project team was set up by the company. This project team consists of 3 design groups based in 3 different locations, and we would like to emphasize here that this is their first experience of group-to-group collaboration. The first group is based in Toulouse, which is in the company's headquarters. We have 3 engineers, 2 computer scientists, and an energy policy expert. The good thing about this group is they've all had experience working together, so it's safe to assume they would have had formal and social interactions and built up rapport and trust between themselves. The second group is based in Bristol in the UK. They have 2 aerodynamic engineers and 1 expert in thermodynamic cycles. The 2 aerodynamic engineers have worked together, but both of them have not worked with the experts in thermodynamic cycles and heat transfers. The last group is based in Hamburg, Germany. We have just 2 computer scientists there, and both of them have had experience working together. So this map just gives a visual representation so we can actually picture emphasis on interactions at a distance with the project team. So the goal of we as the human factors team want to facilitate communication and collaboration within these 3 different groups, 3 different locations at a distance, and this has to be done within the 4-month specified period. So this shows the goals and the tasks of the project team that we had identified. Their main goal is they want to develop more energy efficient prototypes for the aerospace industry, and we have broken down this goal into 3 major tasks we feel would be involved. The first task is an aerodynamic review. Aerodynamic review, what this means is it's carrying out a research. Research in the terms of studying the aircraft's motion and the flow of air. So you need to understand the frictional forces that act on the surface of the aircraft and also within the surface. So in this aerodynamic review, you have to consider both external and internal airflow. So for this task, we have assigned 3 engineers, 2 aerodynamic engineers, and 2 computer scientists. And emphasis should also be on the fact that for this task, the 3 different expertise are in 3 different locations. So collaboration here will be trickier than with the other tasks that we're going to see. The second task is engine optimization. This is more about carrying out calculations and algorithms because you want to develop prototypes for engines that actually support your objective for more energy efficient prototype. There are various ways to go about it. For an example, there's an algorithm called evolutionary algorithm. What this algorithm does is that it sets different performance metrics against which you measure your engine. For example, you could set a performance metric for the exhaust temperature. So you set a temperature that this is what you want your engine to this is the specification you want for your engine. So while you're developing these prototypes, you're able to stick to this. The last task is adopting new fuel types. This has to do with making use of alternative fuel sources which are more environmentally friendly, and this relates directly to the company's objective. For example, we can make use of biofuel. For this, we have an energy policy expert, engineer, and computer scientist. And since we had all the expertise in one location, we just decided to make use of them in Toulouse.
Okay, so what we've done here. Okay, so what we've done is we've identified the goal, and then we've separated it into three different tasks. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain specific problems in collaboration and communication that we might face specific to each task in these circles here. And then I'm going to talk about the overall problems in communication and collaboration we might find. These are general to all tasks, relevant to specialization or location. So let's start with the first task. As Lola explained, the first task is a design task. So it's basically, the first task is a research task. So we're just doing a review of the current environment in the aerospace industry. So what the first problem we've identified is combining findings in a research task. Because it's a research task, how are we going to combine everyone's findings? How are we going to combine? It's difficult enough to have 7 people in the same room doing a research task, let alone from 3 different locations, different specialization. Combining background knowledge. Because we're reviewing the current environment, different individuals might have like background knowledge they might know. So how do we get this out of them from all 3 different locations? Engine optimization, this is the second task. This is mainly a design task. So we're designing a prototype of engine which has the most fuel efficient optimization. So the fundamentals of design is generating ideas. And the first thing is encouraging ideas input. So encouraging everyone to put in their ideas. Because it's a big group and from 2 different locations, how are we going to get everyone involved in the design process? How is everyone going to use their expertise and their background knowledge to input their ideas in the main prototype design? Second thing we've identified is software compatibility. Not only they're from 2 different locations, but they're different specialities. So computer scientists might use different design tools as opposed to engineers. Agreeing on calculation methods, again, different specialization, they have different calculation methods to identify certain things. Finally, we've identified decision making on prototype. In a way, this is general to all tasks, but we've chose this one because we're actually designing a prototype of an engine. So who's going to be responsible to communicate that to the board of directors, and also who's going to be able to choose which prototype to go for. Next, adopting new fuel type. Since they're all in one location, we're focused on the physical interaction. So focus on the physical interaction. We've got office layout here. So a problem I might face is who's going to be working where? Are they going to be working together? Are they going to be working in open space? And then reaction to real-time events. Because we're adopting new fuel types, there might be new technology, new fuel types, new methods of doing things. So we have to react to that. It's not similar to the London Underground where you simultaneously have to react to everything, but we still have to react. So how do we combine all information together and get everyone to react? Now I'm going to go through the overall problems. These are not specific to any task. These are just general problems that might face in collaboration. First of all, different cultures, specialization, and terminology. If it's not the same location, like the bottom one here, the bottom task here, there's going to be different specialization. Either way, we're going to have terminology issues. Which terminology should we use? Degree of individual contribution. I've mentioned that earlier to an extent, but again, it involves, we have to get everyone involved. How do we get everyone involved? How do we get the ideas, especially in the 2 design ideas here, where we're designing engines. Scheduling, there's 3 different locations involved. Even if it's just one location, we still have to get everyone to have one timetable where they meet and they have like review meetings, etc. So we've got like a problem of different time zones here as well. No previous experience working together, and independent tasks. How do we get them to know each other better? How do we get them to know what other people's experiences are, what they know as well? Independent tasks. Independent tasks is information and data sharing. So regardless of the task, we've got to share information. Like for example, in a design task, we can't start designing it without knowing measurements, which materials to use, like all sorts of information that we need to combine and collaborate together. Setting timelines and tracking progress and assigning tasks. This is relevant to all tasks again. We have to assign tasks, getting people to know what they're doing, what's expected of them, etc. So how do we collaborate all that? Okay, now I've mentioned all the problems, the common problems and specific problems to each task. Now I'm going to talk about the way us as facilitators, how do we approach the task? How do we encourage collaboration and communication between different teams? Okay, we've got build interpersonal relationship and instant contact for formal and informal communication. We want people to get talking to each other, formally or informally. We want people to get to know each other, to have relationships like in the workplace, like to know each other. And so what we thought here is like, for example, using instant messaging, where they can see who's online from the same team. Say, example, they're working in this task here, the review task. There's 3 different locations. They know who's in the project and who's in the project, so they see them online. They can talk to them, have a casual conversation, or they can have a formal one. They can ask for like specific types of information or documents, etc. Agreed set of terminology. So us, as facilitators, we have to set an agreed set of terminology. We have to compromise, regardless if it's 3 locations or 2 locations or just 1 location. So we, as facilitators, we come up with a set of terminology that everyone agrees on, so that we'd avoid confusion during the task. Project management software. We'd use this to get everyone involved in to know which tasks are assigned to who, the progress, to track the progress of each task. In terms of virtual project management collaboration, we'd have to use web conferencing and virtual rooms. We'd use that for meetings, to get for initial meetings, review meetings, etc. Interactive smart board. This is more to get everyone involved in the design process. We need to encourage people to get involved, individuals to get involved. So we need everyone to use the same software as well. We'd use group calendars for to coordinate appointments and timetables. So this will eliminate the fact that we have problems with scheduling in different time zones. And finally, we'd use shared presentation tools to present our findings, to design prototypes to directors. Yeah, so we use presentation tools like we did. We used Prezi to present this to you. So we all put our input and then etc. Okay, moving on. Actually, so yeah, this is what we've done. We've identified the goal, the whole goal. Then we've separated it into separate tasks, and then we looked at the specific problems, and then the overall problems here, and then we looked at possible solutions as facilitators, which we adopt to ensure smooth collaboration and communication between the different teams. Moving on, I'm going to talk about Blackboard Collaborate, and Taylor's going to talk about the other collaboration technology we use to come up with this presentation. Blackboard Collaborate. Okay, these advantages and disadvantages we come up with are based on our own experience, how we used it, and like what advantages and disadvantages that we found. So real-time communication. So I could speak to Lola and Taylan visually through video, audio, or through chat. So it's real-time communication. It's like we were in the same room, but I could see them, I could talk to them, and I could chat to them at the same time. Information sharing. Oh yeah, information sharing. So for example, when we first came up with the first draft of the diagram we just saw earlier, we put it up on Blackboard Collaborate, and everyone input their ideas and how to change it to make it look more effective. Make it look more presentable. Collaborative editing of docs. Oh yeah. So we edited Prezi together on Blackboard Collaborate. So Lola came up with the initial structure, I came up with the draft of the diagram, and Taylan we got all together, and Taylan said he was like the expert at Prezi, so he told us to do this, do that, and so we collaborated together to create this presentation. Flexible meeting environment, so I could meet from anywhere with the internet connection. When I went to London, I just had a meeting with them. using user-friendly collaborative internet browsing. So we browse the internet together to look at different links and different ways we can do this presentation. And we did some research also about the carbon footprint and different international aerospace boards. Okay, now these are the disadvantages we found. It's very low on bandwidth speed, so if there was like a problem with the internet connection, we had like glitches in like audio and video. We had technical issues, so when we first started there was echoes, yeah, so we had to like use the setup wizard. Limited session times, this is only relevant to us. I'm assuming like in industry we won't have limited time sessions. Does not support offline communication on like MSN or IM, so we couldn't like send offline messages, so someone has to be online. Difficulty in uploading certain documents. We had a problem with uploading PowerPoint when we were going to use PowerPoint. And I was going to talk to you about the rest of the collaborative technology we use.
Okay, if we look at other collaboration technologies that we use Prezi, these presentations also on Prezi. And why we use Prezi? Because it's an online presentation tool and all group members can edit through accessing internet. And we use the Google Calendar to coordinate and to share the test deadlines and the meeting times with our group members. We use Google Docs to upload our individual works to the internet, and all group members can see it and edit it through internet. And we use email functions. Actually, we use this called Gmail function for communicate and for the information sharing with our group members.